What up, nerds? Bujo Head Jody here. I have been bullet journaling since 2017, and I would like to share my May 2022 monthly spreads with you. So this month I have decided to sort of bring back a theme that I used in May of 2019 that I really liked. I don't really know why I haven't recreated it. It's got this sort of like minty green for the marker, and then we're using highlights of fine liners in red, dark green, and then for the original one I had used an orange, but I think of the set that I have right now, the best I have is something I usually use as a yellow, but it is a dark-ish yellow, so I guess that kind of counts as an orange. So it is super simple, which is really nice. No drop shadows, no fancy borders or banners or, crazy stuff like that. I think of the whole month, this section right here, the calendar, is probably the most involved, and that's just because I do outline every single day. So we got little rounded corners, gives this fun little bubble look to it. Nothing is outlined in pen, so it's all the marker. So it has kind of a softer look to it. I should correct myself. It's not that nothing is outlined in pen, it's just none of sort of the main structures, the like little sections are outlined with the fine liner. So we do have some of the headers are outlined, which gives it it's a very interesting look to it. So we'll actually be outlining those day of the week headers there. And I haven't completely decided what I'm going to do. I do want to put a like note section, brain dump, something like that to it. I did something similar in 2019 as this, where my notes are, so these are all note sections, but I'm giving them a couple different spots to write notes. So they don't necessarily need to all be in one spot. So we got the big section there. We have sort of a more vertical section, a more horizontal section. And I can write whatever I want, wherever. It doesn't matter. These are all note sections. And then you can actually see my markings. I've sort of marked out where the boundaries for these sections are. Check in my work. I did get it right this time. And then I knew exactly how far across I wanted each of those vertical lines, which I will then reference for the other two sections there. I'm putting those in pretty easily. Because we're using the rounded corners, everything is going to be lowercase. Give it a very soft feel. Keep it on theme. get rid of those reference marks as they were in pencil. And then finish some things off with the pen. So I'm outlining just the left-hand side of each letter in green, and then I will alternate using the red and the orange to outline each of the letters. Red I'm using on every other letter. The M and the Y. So that A will then be outlined, the right hand side of the A at least, will be outlined with the orange. You could definitely go wrong with this sort of thing, outlining a mild liner after the fact can definitely expose inconsistencies in the thickness of the line, but I think it looks really cool. I kind of, in my original spread, I had a lot more of these sort of major headers. There's not so many in the way that I do my bullet journal now. So I have a lot more of these minor labels, which I'm putting in the date on each of the days in the calendar. And then I'm sort of deciding what I want to do with this, which I've decided what I did end up doing was writing down pretty much every type of header that I've ever used to denote a notes section. So the first one says notes, the next one in red there says etc. The big one says brain dump, obviously, and then this is a little harder, but I'm using a set of headers that I used to use a lot, which are now and later. And then we'll go in and we'll label each of these sections. So the very bottom is my target section, so my budget targets, my hours targets. It goes planned, actual, and then delta, which is the difference between the two. The red section, the largest in the center there, is my debts. Those are basically all my credit cards. I pay them off every month. I just like to keep track of the beginning and ending amounts. Top are my assets, checking, savings, that kind of thing. And then the little bitty thing at the very top was the change over all of my accounts. So the overall change amounts in my financials. Now we're moving on to the more expanded logs. So the very first one at the top there, that will be my hours. The second one is my video to-do list, basically, and the very large one is my transaction log. That's keeping track of all my budget amounts. And just relying on the mild liner with no outlines, no drop shadow, no extra stuff. This is super quick, super simple. What makes this theme really pop. It's the colors, So highly recommend. We're gonna use green for hours, green for go. And across the top there is date, hours, total, income, and increase. And then for the money, you would think it would be green, but no, it's red. Stop, don't do it, don't spend. That is date, amount, account, total, description, and then budget, which is basically, do I count it towards my budget for the month? And then for my video section, which I found very helpful last month, and so I decided to expand it a little bit. So that is video, film, edit, voice, music, export, upload, and Insta. And that's it. Thanks a lot. Bye.